Hey folks, I am Dave, the not-so-evil Evil Viking 13, here with a couple of the guys from Casual Shenanigans Gaming to do a casual conversation about the surprisingly awesome DayZ standalone live stream yesterday. You guys want to say hi?
Hey guys, it's Joel.
Hey, it's Germ Gaming.
Alright, and we have some video footage going here. Some moments from the stream. A very, very full stream, actually. Maximum stream, one could say.
That doesn't sound dirty, but it sounds like it could be.
That was the idea. So I actually got a text.
Like Joel's mom's name. What?
Oh, whoa, there it is. Both directions. Very nice, guys. I'm proud of you. Anyway.
Streams coming in from both directions.
Oh, we're all good friends here, aren't we?
Now that the train is taking a hard left turn, it's closer than friends, you might say.
This is definitely not the hype train here.
Lovers! Okay, anyways.
That wasn't implied, Joel. That was just going right for it.
That's all you. All you.
So I was actually out in the cold target shooting last night, and Joel texted me like, "Oh, there's a DayZ live stream. It's blowing my mind. It's so amazing. I just can't believe it." And I thought, knowing Joel, he's like trying to make me be angry because I'm not there to watch it too. I'm like, okay, yeah, it's blowing his mind, sure. But then the text just kept coming, like with actual stuff from the stream. I'm like, okay, this is actually sounding pretty great. So I got back and I checked it out. I've got a list here, and I'm gonna link this in the comments of some of the stuff that people have compiled from the live stream. And I think Joel was right. This is probably the most mind-blowing list of things we've seen from the game, just because this is the longest segment of the game we've ever seen. Dean just sat down and basically played it for basically 3.5 hours. And man, there's just been so much stuff that we have not seen yet. First impressions from what you guys have seen. I'll start with Joel. What do you think about all this stuff?
It was cool. I watched probably about an hour of it. I don't know what part I jumped in on. I just kind of watched. I was hanging with a friend, so he had kids who were yelling and all that fun stuff. So I just kind of glanced back and forth, and I got to hear some bits. But it looked really awesome. It was neat seeing it finally in motion. They were going inside buildings and stuff, and yeah, it just looks like so many different areas to explore now. It still had all the laggy, like, open doors, climb up ladder, where you, like, suck into it, up the tunnels, but it's more things to explore, so I'm just excited to be able to play the game again, and it had a lot of just really neat things.
I just saw a rotten banana spawned onto a bench in the schoolhouse, and Dean, like, looked at it and then just kept going. Gross.
You would loot that.
It seems like it's running very smoothly. Like, the inventory seems to be working well. All the mechanics seem to be working well. Like, obviously, he's pretty confident in it. If he spent 3 hours just playing it live, like, you've got to feel pretty good about your game, because even where it was a couple months ago, that sounds like it could have broken over and over and over again. And I guess, from what we know, everything worked fine.
Yeah, I think their main issues were there were some known bugs that happened. Dean spawned in on one server once and spawned next to a doppelganger of himself, and his controls were actually like moving both guys at the same time.
Well,
that's a known bug.
Just yeah. a clone to fight with, to fight the zombies with.
Synchronized clone, even. Some sweet moves right there. That's supposed to be fixed by Monday, they think. There were a bunch of actually like just alpha style bugs like that they're working on. But none of it caught him by surprise, which is actually one thing I wanted to point out, was that like every time that there was a bug, Dean's like, "Oh yeah, we know about this. We're working on it for either, before the alpha, or we're gonna, remove this feature."
Or he's like waving his hand off camera like, "What on earth's going on, guys?" Muting his mic. "Why is this doing this? You told me this was fixed. No one's going home.
You've all lied to me." There was some lag. The desync icon is still there, but it's not actually desync ARMA style anymore because of that server client system. The lag is much more traditional. We saw one guy spawn in. They like spotted him from a distance, and he was wearing like his tidy whities and undershirt. And they went to shoot him, and then like all his loot just popped in all of a sudden. So it wasn't so much desync. Like they could actually like see him, moving around. But it was just that his loot was kind of spawning in after the player model was there.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's not too bad.
Yeah, the lag is more
zombie
tolerable.
Shooting. It's hard. It's like the animations are really laggy. Like they were shooting some zombies, and it's still like hard to tell. Like, did I shoot a zombie? Did I hit it? Because it just kind of like whatever, I got shot, I'll keep moving, and then it's like, ugh. But it's like it's funny, you know, like the graphics DayZ look decent. They're not amazing, but I think them adding as much stuff as possible, that's what I'm most excited for. I don't really care about the graphics of the game as much as they just have lots and lots of items and things to explore, because that's really all that. Wow, I just saw a guy climb up a ladder, his feet didn't move, he just kind of like
he teleported. Yeah, he's like, I need to go, my people need me.
The simulation's what I care more about. Just like having all this. It looks like from scrolling down this list, we ought to talk about some of this stuff. I mean, this list is very impressive.
Before we actually leave the topic of bugs,
Yes.
I think my favorite was Dean found a weapon he didn't realize was actually in the game. He talked about how he spends so much time working on back-end stuff that he barely actually tests the game itself. And usually he's just in that one initial spawning area. He found a shotgun, a really cool double barrel that we saw back at a render from E3, I think. He found it in one of the apartment buildings in Cherno. He's like, oh, cool, the shotgun's in game. Like, I had no idea. So he was holding it in his hands. They got attacked by zombies, and Dean's like, well, here, you know, I'll take care of it. We'll try out the shotgun. He runs up to the zombie right before it swings at him. He clicks to fire the shotgun, and it pops up like script error, like 713. He's like, no! And then he got smacked and started bleeding.
Did you see how he looked down the sights of the shotgun and it like went over to his left shoulder? That was kind of funny.
Oh, yeah, wrong shoulder for the shotgun. That was pretty great.
This can be good,
and
though.
Speaking of you know, focusing on the amount of loot and stuff versus like 100% pretty graphics. I mean, yeah, all the items and all look great, but the amount amazed me. I'm not sure if you caught this, Joel, but there are over 400 unique items in standalone right now, compared to like, what was it, you know, 40 in the mod?
Oh yeah,
over 400, and that's just the unique items. At any one time, the server has about 15,000 of them spawned across the server at approximately 2.3 million spawn locations.
But the graphics still are really good though. Like where I'm watching in the stream right now, they're standing on top of a hospital roof, and it looks much more immersive, like you're actually in a real area. Yeah, much more than Arma does. So I mean, I think the graphics are really good, just in their own particular way. Like, yeah, there's going to be clipping and everything's not quite as accurate and stuff, but they've got a very
Fallout
nice
way. Like,
yeah, the art direction's very nice. I think
the more items they add in it, they'll start getting their own style and feel to it. You know.
Exactly.
You know, because some areas still feel so barren and nothing like a real place. But I think the more things they get in there and stuff, will be interesting. I told Dave though, with all the buildings, oh my gosh! I told Dave, I was like, I'm literally not gonna want to play with him, because we'll go into a building and that's the rest of the evening. Like the next 6 hours.
There are both 8 and 12-story apartment buildings where every floor has rooms that you go inside of. Like multiple rooms, balconies, every single floor.
We're going to have to come out with some sort of system, because that's going to be just ridiculous.
Cherno itself now extends from, in the mod, you had that eastern area with those barns and like the railroad bridge and stuff. Cherno now extends with apartment building suburbs all the way west to the hillside next to Bolota.
Wow.
Like the city covers, that must be like what, 7-8% of the width of the map is just Cherno down there. It's huge. And to get on top of these skyscrapers and to look out over this skyline, it really reminds me of 28 Days Later. That city scene where they come upon the one light up in the apartment building.
It's been so long, I don't remember.
I can't wait to find out if that place turns into just a death zone or becomes just a loot place. Loot city, you know?
It's so big, and like it's not like in Cherno now, there's a couple places you hit. You hit the fire station, you hit the grocery store. You know, part of the reason you run into so much death is everyone's going to the same places. But if you had like 10 people in this city, it looks like there's so many different places to go. You could conceivably just avoid people pretty easily, because it's not like there's the only couple places you can go to. You can get loot tons of places, so there probably still will be places with better loot. But it looks like you'll be able to do okay for yourself anywhere.
Yeah.
You'd think that, and Dean was saying that he can't wait to see in the first alpha test, like, if this becomes a death zone. But they also killed, in this closed alpha testing, they killed 2 players in this live stream in this like city area. So,
well, how many people were playing? Were like 50 people?
I think it was like 30 or so. Oh, and speaking of you know, the players playing together, people noticed very, very quickly that they're not playing on that closed Bohemia testing server anymore. They were actually jumping back and forth between a number of public-facing servers. And in the server browser, you can see there are now about 40 public DayZ standalone servers being hosted by GameServers.com that are already live and running.
But you just have to have the password and the game and stuff to be able to access them.
Exactly. And like the correct build to actually access
which I have.
Joel, I would come to your house and I would loot that copy.
Just steal his computer.
I would
He says
love
he
to
doesn't
see.
like it all the time.
I would love. Oh man, it would be the most. It'd be the best week ever if I got to play it 1 week before you did.
I'd be staying at your house, Joel. Just deal with it.
You'd get to play it a maximum of 20 minutes before Dave,
dude,
because that's
Dave,
the amount of time
Dave,
it takes
I would
him to
hear
get
you
there.
knocking outside my door, but I'd be like,
Knocking, Joel, you'd hear the sound as I kicked in your front door.
So you hear the sound of the hinges breaking apart.
Guess who?
Actually, you wouldn't even hear that. He'd probably come in through a second-story window.
Yeah, that's right.
It's faster. Computer's closer that way.
It would steal my hard drive.
You just hear a sawing noise, and a chainsaw would appear like around your computer desk, and the whole yank would just get yanked out.
Like by a truck and just pulled down the street. What the heck?
Anyway, all right.
So yeah, overall
this giant
impressions
list.
are high, right? For you guys?
Yeah, very high. I mean, it looks great. You know, it's kind of everything looks great. I just want to play it. You know, as it looks now, it looks like we can do everything we did before and more. So
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
although
and
he's shooting zombies and they're not dying, they're just standing there taking. Oh, now they're dying. Okay, so that's
there were some laggy servers because they were playing from the Czech Republic and they were trying out some U.S. servers, and there were some lag issues for sure. I'll say, like, overall for my overview of the stream was, I mean, I'm obviously been very excited about DayZ for a long time now, but for the initial alpha, I've been kind of like not expecting too much. Like, I figured there'd be a lot of broken stuff, a lot of stuff missing, but having looked at this entire, or at least skipped through this entire play session, there's a lot more content here than I was expecting. I think this is actually going to offer a lot more than the mod ever did, even right there at alpha.
I'd say we
really
could probably
impressed.
start working on Survivor Diaries almost immediately. It looks like.
Yeah. I mean, this, even with the limited weapons and all, it looks like a huge improvement over the mod.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
All right, so our giant list of awesomeness here. There was a Q&A going on in the chat from a few different hosts. I think Sacriel was one of them. Some pretty awesome questions and some new stuff revealed during the Q&A during the live stream. And the one that I sent to Joel as soon as I heard it, they're expecting Ragdoll to be in the game very soon after the first alpha comes out. You know, expecting it, but that's just surprising to hear
DayZ
at all.
was going to be released last holiday season. It doesn't even matter if there's a hard date. Don't get excited till it happens.
The next thing we hear is Ragdoll system wasn't good enough. We scrapped it all and restarted.
Exactly. They might decide they want to do that. So I'm just saying, like, don't get too excited. Although, for all we know, they're just going to try to port the Arma 3 Ragdoll system, which
that may be
well.
what they're doing. And actually, what surprised me about it mainly was the fact that the last we heard about the Ragdoll was Dean said, yeah, we probably want to do that, but it's going to be like end game, like right before the game is retail done. So to hear that it's planned on like right after alpha, that really surprised me, but I am more than okay with that because Ragdoll would really make the zombies feel even better, I think. Much better.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be huge difference. So my bets is gonna come out Tuesday.
Think so? Tuesday?
Yeah,
Wow.
I think Tuesday.
It's obvious that by doing this stream, they feel like they're pretty close.
Yeah.
But
And
what does
the
pretty
public
close
facing
mean?
servers is definitely a good sign too. Having that many servers running right now, I mean, they don't need 40 servers for 150 closed testers, you know?
Yeah, but 40 servers isn't enough for a release. They need like 1,000.
I heard that they're also talking to like Valair and some of the other providers, and that Game Servers was just the first one to get the server files.
Mm-hmm. I would hope so because they, it's kind of, it makes you irritated when like Battlefield doesn't work because the servers are being taken down. We know DayZ's servers are going to be just swamped.
Yeah.
It's going to be almost useless, I'm sure, for the first couple days.
It's going to be awful at first, but we all know we're going to be right there staring at a menu screen instead of the 1,000 other games we own because we're trying to get into DayZ just because
what
we
I'll
can't
probably
resist.
do is just use LogMeIn from work, and then I can just check in on my computer
That's
every
right.
20 minutes, and if it gets in, I'll just move the character around so he can't time out. and just string it along for 8 hours till I get home.
Jeremiah, you're gonna be driving home with your Nvidia Shield, like rotating your guy in a circle just so you don't log off. Like, come on, stay logged on.
I can use the shield actually. If I use Hamachi, I can trick the shield to thinking we're on the same network. I could totally do that. Although, believe it or not, Arma does not like work that well with a controller.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
Just to test out the shield, I actually was streaming some of the Arma 3 campaigns. I thought, what is the worst thing I could try on a controller? Arma. All right. But
speaking of the content, I know we said just a few minutes ago that it feels like it's going to have much more than the mod actually ever offered. There is a note here right at the beginning of this feature list that it sounds like they're still working on persistent items because of that new server client system. So tents actually might be one of the few things that are not in game when the alpha comes out, like as far as what the mod had.
But will we be able to like keep stuff on us? Or is that still a problem?
Yes. All the character persistence seems to be there, but I think they're still working on redoing that system of having objects on the server that are tracked once you log off.
Okay, well, that's kind of a big deal. I mean, that's the difference between hopping on every once in a while and doing persistence, because that's kind of the reason we tapered off playing it, was the really good servers that we were happy with went away. And then at that point, it wasn't worth it, because it's not worth playing long term and trying to make a character or make a life with your character. That sounds really lame, but that's not worth doing. Yeah. That's not worth doing if you don't have a if there's no persistence. I mean, persistence is going to be everything in this game. So I would say it's a very big deal for that to be working. I would be okay with them waiting until it comes out for that to be working. Or like waiting until they've got that done, if they had to wait another week or so.
I'll agree. I mean, persistence is a huge deal with DayZ. Like, yeah, it sounds kind of cheesy to say it, but like the life and story of your character progressing over multiple days is what really kind of hooked me on the game. Just like that long-term play. And now, tents and camps are a huge part of that.
There aren't running vehicles in this version yet, are there?
No, vehicles are still coming, and he actually detailed the system. I was telling Joel some about this. Vehicles are going to use a version of the system that they actually built for the weapons, where there isn't just like a blue... what's that Russian car, Jeremiah? Help me out here.
Blue Russian car. It's already in the game?
No. The classic Russian car, it's in DayZ. The color's not that important. Is it a... Man, I can't think of it. Anyway, so instead of just having a car that is always the same color, same spots of rust, same everything, there will be a core chassis that is the car. And then every door, bumper, tire, trunk, everything is a removable part. And you can customize it like your weapons. And that also means you can actually deconstruct vehicles and use those parts to rebuild other vehicles.
I'm gonna take the doors off everything.
Joel, weren't you saying like go out, find someone's camp in the woods, and don't steal their car, just like steal the tires, like they're in the ghetto or something?
Yeah, just so they
this
can't
is probably
drive away.
Too much to hope for, but if you could remove like everything from your car but the engine, frame, and wheels and stuff, just like whatever it needs to actually run, and then make it really light so it's super fast, that's probably more realism than I could hope for.
There will be a weight system, so
really?
That's possible. Yeah, it's not in game yet, but there's going to be a weight system.
Is there an option to like pack your doors full of phone books?
Armor and stuff, including like kind of Frankenstein, Mad Max style, build your own armor, is also planned. Yeah,
cool.
Yeah,
that'd be nice.
I don't know if you guys caught this, but it was like early on in the stream, Rocket was kind of briefly mentioning that he might add in random events. Did you hear that, Dave?
Yes, he did.
What constitutes a random event?
It's for me. It's like quests. But it's like just having random event things happen, like possible helicopter crashes and that randomly spawn in, or things like that, or possibly like a down tanker.
Okay, so kind of like you get in Wasteland.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'm excited. I hope they do that just to add variety for things to do, because it will get boring after a while when you have no like goals or anything other than to just like whatever survive again. It'd be cool to have just a mission. So
there was some discussion on Reddit about how kind of some clarification and discussion about that, where he is kind of changing his mind about those random events, with the consideration being that there won't be any NPCs involved. It'll all still be player driven. just it'll give them some like focus for the actual players to go back and forth.
Yeah, exactly.
That's exactly what I wanted. As far as like if they were going to do events, I wanted it to be just player driven events. No, like go meet this old person and get a mission, and they're invincible because they're an NPC, and I don't know. That just like breaks me out of the immersion of the game.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I wouldn't mind it if it was done well, but I think it's best to have everything be player driven if possible.
Yeah.
It looks like you have the ability to cancel animations and actions to do something else. That's nice.
Yes.
No music in the game right now, but you can potentially add your own music packs. Not in alpha. I'm not going to do that. In-game chat will be affected by helmets being indoors and things. That's really cool. You can hide from the rain under things. Rain will also affect your character, so you'll want to hide.
Oh,
I think that's awesome.
They actually, I was actually watching this part during the stream. They got Arma 3's totally new, incredibly good-looking rain system that was ported over from that Carrier Command Bohemia game or whatever it was. Mm-hmm. A version of that is now in DayZ, and it's even better than Arma 3's version because, like they say here, their artists have gone in and actually gotten geometry collision working with the rain. So when it rains, if you're exposed to it, you'll get cold and possibly sick. So you can actually hide like under overhangs and stuff like that and inside of buildings to get out of the rain.
That's cool. Another thing I see on here, I'm just going down the list if that's all right.
Yeah, go for it.
Riot gear and hockey gear, like people can turn themselves into a tank so they can like...
Exactly, yes.
That'll be awesome because in any game with roles like that I've played, I'm usually the tank because it's simple enough that I can get my head around it. So I would love to do that. I mean, that's obviously like maybe they got that idea from The Walking Dead or something, but just getting your riot gear on and just wading around with a bat, like whomping zombies while everyone clears stuff out, that'd be awesome.
Dean was saying that idea came from the fact that stuff like the hatchets are kind of dangerous to use now with other players like helping you out because the system is no longer that invisible pistol for melee. Right. It's actually calculating the swing. So if Joel runs past me while I'm swinging to kill a zombie, like my axe can actually connect with the back of Joel's head by complete accident, obviously, and take him out. So you could like actually armor your clothes up, like get police vests and like add some stuff to them with the crafting system. And
that'll slow you down.
Yeah, it'll slow you down, and eventually it'll have weight and stuff too, so you can carry less loot when you're like the tank. Then you can actually. So
Dave, you're saying is that you're never going to be
give yourself extra strength.
Yeah, I will never be the tank.
But can we enchant rings like in Oblivion?
Oh, I'm sure.
That'd
it's
be
just
amazing.
around the corner.
It'd be so awesome if they just took a left turn and added enchanting.
Oh,
People would be so mad.
I'd almost be
I'd be pretty pissed.
Dave would be pissed, but I would laugh so hard if he like turned it into something just crazy.
Slowly, over time, like they had the wizard patch, they had dragons, zombie dragons.
All of a sudden it's like standalone Skyrim. PvP.
Oh, and then it slowly turns into a racing game.
With terrible Arma 2 physics, not Arma 3.
Oh, man. So much.
Have you guys seen the optics yet? The broken optics?
Yes, I have. Dave, I've seen all this before you, Dave. Just you're catching up to my level. You're catching up to my level.
I watched all of it.
You're catching up to my level, Dave.
I've seen the optics. They look pretty good.
What actually really blew my mind was the fact that there's actually two separate lenses there that actually shift back and forth.
I noticed.
Gives it some pretty awesome depth. You can now make zombies unconscious. You can actually knock them out by hitting them in the head. So if you have a weak or
if they're
damaged,
like brain dead, how does that work?
It's like a stun, I think. Like, I mean, you just have to really crack them in the head. But say I've got a baseball bat that's got really low quality to it, like it's pretty worn out, and I don't want to stand there and like wail on this guy to take him out. I can hit him in the head, and that'll buy me time to run, because it'll like stun him for a few seconds. And it works with players too, so I can like run up behind Joel and knock him out and steal all of his loot.
I want to see like basically what do you call those, like death animation, so you can like come up behind someone, do the slit the throat thing, like in Halo or Battlefield. That would be awesome. Go up to a zombie and go like slit their throat. That would be sweet. Or do one where you run up the back of their, behind them, do a backflip, dual wielding pistols, and be like, I want to see that.
Oh, of course. Of course.
That's probably adding in patch 1.1.
So
yeah.
This list does not say that cannibalism is to be added later. It sounds like cannibalism is a go.
Whoa, really?
I mean, the list doesn't say to be added later, and they say to be added later on lots of stuff.
That's it. I'm staying up on Monday night.
But you can't drink your own urine.
But
There's also there's no syphilis either. I know Joel was really disappointed about that.
So you can't take blood from a body, but you can take blood from another player. So they're saying, like, it sounds like eventually you'll be able to take blood from someone who just died.
Oh, wow.
Does that work?
I imagine there's still enough pressure, yeah, even without the heart beating, at least until the blood turns bad.
Because that would be like
a weird conversation,
dies,
I gotta say.
People will run to them and be like, "You take the meat, I'll take the blood." I like this shirt.
Oh man!
The last time that he talked about cannibalism, it was also led into a discussion about how this being a Steam release, it's probably not going to ever be rated. And I feel like cannibalism kind of like seals that deal.
Oh, that would give it an AO rating, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of one of those, like, you can't eat people things. Like, you're just never allowed to.
You can steal them and harvest their organs, but you can't ever eat them.
So yeah, I mean, that's most of the main stuff, it looks like. They're talking about just mostly things having weight, things being throwable, having holsters, all that affecting each other.
Oh, hey, holsters, actually, that's a cool new thing that just got added last week.
Yeah, with Quick Draw, too.
Yeah, with Quick Draw. The animation is kind of broken right now, but the idea is that you could actually carry like a pistol in your backpack, takes up some backpack slots, and then have a pistol with a magazine attached to the pistol in a holster on your chest, like visible, and you can Quick Draw from that. And at one point, Dean actually had 2 weapons in his backpack, a bat, a rifle. He had a pistol in his holster, and so he was out of room for weapons. I mean, that's like, what, is that 4 weapons right there? But he actually found that shotgun, and he still was able to put his rifle on his backpack and then just hold the shotgun in his hands. So you could still carry extra loot that you were out of inventory space for, but then he couldn't climb ladders because his hands were actually occupied. I thought that was kind of like a cool little feature right there.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Oh, and speaking of the duct tape and taking people hostage and all that fun stuff, at one point, Dean was answering a question on top of the rooftop, and the guy he was playing with duct taped his hands together, and they have it working now where you can actually move around and try to escape, besides just being able to sit there and try to struggle out of the restraints. And so Dean's just like, "Screw you, you can't keep me down." And he like waddled over to the edge of the building and like jumped off. It was awesome. I think the guy knocked him out like right before he got to the edge, though. It was so close to escaping. To his death.
How fearful are you from 1 to 10 of losing a friend after this game comes out? Like Dave.
Oh, we'll all still be great friends.
No,
wait, losing them like we won't want to talk to each other.
We'll never see them again.
Oh,
Dave.
I am going to have a lot more free time.
I can hear your excitement in your voice, Dave, about each and every little tiny detail.
Joel, I want you to sit back. I want you to listen to me very, very carefully, okay, buddy? Are you listening, Joel?
Oh, I'm listening.
He'll always love you, but
Joel,
DayZ's more important. Oh no!
Listen to me, Joel.
I'm listening.
I will look for you. I will find you. I will kill you. You can run as far as you want to. I will find you.
All I could say is that is 100% bullcrap. We all know Dave is a nice fly, or he won't hurt a fly. Sorry, he's a nice fly that won't hurt other flies.
I'm obviously an evil Viking, Joel. Haven't you heard?
Oh, dude, I can't wait to end your first playthrough, your first virgin playthrough.
Honestly, like
that's a really weird way to play it.
So you could almost say like you're gonna take his playthrough virginity.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm gonna do.
Exactly what he's saying.
So if this comes out and it's half as good as it looks like it's going to be,
yeah,
and then Star Citizen comes out and it's half as good as Star Citizen looks like it's going to be, I'm just going to be done buying games for a while.
Yeah, I'm in a rough spot here. I mean, Battlefield 4, I'm still having fun in.
By a rough spot, you mean things are so amazing you don't know what to do?
This is 100% first world, like first of the first world problems.
I just want to make sure the rough spot you were talking about was actually things are fantastic and I hate it.
Well, actually, I'm done right there. You summed it up. Thank you. Things are fantastic, and I hate it.
But neither of these things are out yet, though. Isn't the Star Citizen dogfighting module supposed to be coming out soon?
I'm still behind on Star Citizen, so.
Did you pledge?
Mm-mm.
Oh, man.
I'm kind of just watching outside.
Is Star... I've heard of it, but I don't really know what...
Are you kidding me, Joel? You don't know what we're talking about?
I know about the game. I haven't looked into it that much.
Have you seen a video of Star Citizen?
Yeah, I've seen it. It looks amazing. But I don't...
When you're saying that, just like, whatever, like, just the best spaceship game ever. That's no big deal.
I haven't seen, like, a full gameplay clip.
Considering my top 5 TV shows of all time include Battlestar Galactica and Firefly, and this game looks like it'll let me be both of those.
You'll have to show me a good gameplay clip of it, because I honestly haven't seen any of the gameplay clip.
Well, all the stuff, it's pretty conceptual at the moment, but...
So we're, like, years away?
It is probably coming out early 2015, if they stay on track. They keep getting more money.
Oh, man, that's a long ways away. Ugh.
Yeah, but they're releasing pieces. They've already released a hangar module where you can run around and look at the ship you pre-ordered.
Oh, okay.
And then they'll release a dogfighting module. They're gonna release it in chunks. Anyway, back to DayZ, because this is technically we're talking about DayZ.
A little bit of a deviation there.
Are we ever going to do a casual conversation about something other than DayZ?
Good question. Actually, I want to have a casual conversation where you walk me through Star Citizen. Me and Joel both need that.
I will do that. Me and Chris. I got to get Chris.
Yeah. There you go.
Mr. Track IR over there.
That's right. That's right.
But yeah, I mean, what else do you guys have to say about this? I mean, I think, like, you know, the stream pretty much sums up and encapsulates a lot of the things we've been talking about for a year now. So I don't want to go on and on and on, you know, about all the things we already talked about, other than to say, like, it all looks like it's coming along really nicely and about like we want it to. You know, we haven't played it ourselves, so we can't know for sure, but everything looks great.
Joel, what do you think?
If it can run on anything lower than a NASA certified computer, I'll be really happy. That's all I want to have. I just want it to be able to run slightly better than the mod, you know? Like,
I think it'll be able to, because, like, even Arma 3 runs really well until you get into a multiplayer scenario, like with the crummy server mechanics. And if they've got those fixed, Arma is not that taxing of a game, especially on medium settings. It's the multiplayer that's that taxing. Yeah. Like, I bet you I could play Arma 2 over 100 frames per second maxed out if it wasn't for, you know, if they didn't have stuff capped.
Yeah.
In single player, Arma 2 and Arma 3 just scream for me. It's so fast. Except for AI. Like, if you put like 1,000 AI down, yeah, it'll freak out, but...
Right. Yeah, I mean, as long as it works, and getting into servers and stuff is fun, I don't care what it looks like. It'll be fun to play a co-op game again. That's not Battlefield.
I think looking at yesterday's stream, I'm really glad that Dean decided early on to, like, not only keep expectations low, but like undersell things, like constantly say, like, guys, like, this is going to look terrible, it's all going to be broken. Because when he just sat down and played it, like, there was so much more than I was expecting. It was so awesome to be impressed like that. I'm really glad he kept things low for expectations, and then once things were like ready to show, he's just like, oh, here it is. Like, think of it what you will.
Yeah. All right, now here's the kicker question here.
Yeah.
Do you think this means they're basically ready to go?
Yeah, I told Dave last week it was coming out this coming week, because he keeps on posting so much on the forums or wherever the heck it was, and he just keeps on telling people that, you know, it's going to suck and it's not going to work. And I'm like, oh, I mean, he hasn't been posting forever beforehand. Why is he doing that now? Like, why is he doing all this now? Why does it matter? So my guess is, they're getting it ready. So either Tuesday or Friday, or I think this week it'll be out. So
that's a pretty bold claim. I'm still sticking to my Thanksgiving to Christmas thing. I'm not going to change that.
I thought it was Thanksgiving. I think you already missed your deadline.
No, I said Thanksgiving to Christmas. That's what I said.
Oh, all right.
We've talked about this numerous times. Yeah, sometime in Thanksgiving through Christmas, that window.
For me, I'm not going to be saying Tuesday, just because there's probably going to be at least one or two delays, even once they say, like, okay, this build is the one that we go live with.
Well, when are they going to say that? Dave, they're not going to say that, though. You're not going to hear that.
No. I'm saying we're not going to hear that, but I'm saying that, say Tuesday, that they're like, okay, this build is ready to go. Then it's like, oh, crap, like, it's spawning 4 of you when you spawn into a server. Like, it's now Wednesday. That's probably going to happen internally. But for me, I think this week looks good because We've got Christmas coming up, so it's either going to happen this week or probably not till next year. And then we have all this streaming of just like, here's the game, it's not crashing, it's got some glitches, but it's functional. You know, it's fun, it works, just here it is. And then also we have the public-facing servers, 40 of them around the world, US, Germany, I think the UK as well. And then Thursday and Friday, a lot of the team pulled a 24-hour day, and they also worked Saturday and Sunday. Like, the whole team's been there most of the weekend. Something's going down for sure.
Now, it's really going to suck if they release the game and there really are only like 40 servers.
Yes, yes.
That would let them stress test things pretty quickly, but it will suck for everyone else. I hope they don't do that.
Yeah, I imagine that was just game servers contribution. I'm expecting some actual official Bohemia servers, you know, some Valair servers, and probably a few other providers as well by the time that it goes live.
Mm-hmm. I hope so.
But one final question for you guys before we call this thing complete. Sales estimates, day one. What do you guys think?
Day one.
Like sales us how much they're gonna make?
Okay, how about this? Day one and then week one. Total sales.
Well, I mean, on the Twitch streaming, if you were watching it live like I was, a real fan, they had over 10,000 people streaming it.
With no announcement either, like it just went live all of a sudden.
I'm gonna say 50,000 day one, and up to about 200,000 by the end of the first week.
Joel, what's your actual numbers for your guess?
Gosh, I think day one, I think it's gonna be like 25,000, and then I think it's gonna be maybe 75,000 by the end of the week.
Okay, I'm gonna mix up the range here. I'm gonna say 100,000 sales on the first 24 hours, and
Dang.
500,000 in the first week.
Oh my goodness. All right.
Because I've got a feeling, given how fast the mod exploded, if it comes out, and even in alpha, if it's like $15, people aren't going to be able to resist. Like,
That's true. There will be lots of people just going, why not?
yeah,
But-
and unfortunately that means that there's going to be a lot of raging, I imagine.
I mean, I think 500,000 is probably a stretch, I think. But I mean, you know, we're just making speculations.
Yeah,
so.
actually, we have a good spread of guesses here. Let's see how it turns out. I'm kind of intrigued.
As long as everyone remembers what theirs are. What's mine? Mine is 50,000 and then 200,000, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yours is 100 to 500.
Yeah.
And then Joel's is 25
To 75.
To 75. Yeah, that's
It's a good range.
we'll see. We'll see.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm definitely more excited after yesterday than I have been well, at all since hearing about standalone. Like, because it's concrete and it's there, you know, like you see the evidence in front of you and it looks good.
Yeah, for the first time, the game they are showing you is like ready to play as far as we can tell.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And Dave,
All right.
by your excitement level, you were already at a 10, so this just got you to a 10.5. You're always at that high excitement level.
I think I peed a little.
Here comes that blood pressure.
Need more coffee. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, guys. Drop your thoughts in the comments, and we will see you guys next time.
All right, see y'all later.
See ya.
Stay casual.
Stop that.